Hello, my name is Mr. Decalion, and welcome back to Buried Part 4, Section 2? I'll edit it later on. Well, we were left off with... Dennis. So Dennis got captured by one of those alien thingies, and he was trying to get free. What should I do? Should I wait for Dennis to get away, or do I shoot off Dennis's hand? Well, if I wait for him, he might die. But that could end up terribly as well. Shoot off his hand to try and get him away. I think I'll go for a shoot Dennis's hand off. You decided to take Dennis's hand to save him. If I don't take the shot while I have it, they are going to kill him. In a last-ditch effort, I try getting a good shot at the monster, but there is none. I'll hurt Dennis even worse if I try. Ah, crap. I take aim and fire off a shot. The line drops perfectly, and results in a lot of blood and screams from both Dennis and the creature. Dennis' hand disappears into a spray of red, and the monster's appendage simply fades away. It literally seems to wink out of existence. Wiggity wink ding ding. The creature screeches while Dennis hits the floor, wailing in pain. The reality of what I have done sets in, and nearly paralyzes me. Get him, says Amy says. I'll cover you. I nod, still reeling from the sight of what I have done to Dennis. I stumble out of the door. Amy is true to her words. She fires off a few rounds into the approaching monsters as I make it to Dennis. I grab a hold of him with my good arm. I drag him backwards as fast as I can, nearly falling down in the process. When I reach the doorway, Amy reaches down and helps me drag his body the final few feet into the room. She manages to pull off another shot, and when I look to see what she has hit, I see another dozen or so of the monsters. Dennis is writhing in pain, and when he looks up to me, he's sneering. You crazy asshole, he screams. He shudders violently, sweats and tears coursing down his pale face. Amy slams the door behind us. Finally, we are inside the room, hopefully safe within what looks to be an isolation chamber of sorts. Along the frame, a little electrical lock beeps as the door is secured. Are you for real? End of chapter 4. I thought there would be at least like half an hour left. That. Can't believe I have minutes left. So, end of chapter 4. If only I'd known. If only I knew. Self-control. You and 49% of our players shot to weaken the creature, not to kill it. Keep them at bay. You and 41 distract the creature instead of shooting it. Oh, shot it. Me and most players took the handgun instead of the shotgun. It seemed to make more sense. Judgment call. You and most players disobeyed Dennis' wishes to not shoot, causing him to lose his hand. Was that really the best thing? So, chapter 5. I'm not sure. I have no idea what I'm going to call this. What am I going to call this? 4.5 to 5.0. We are now inside a large reinforced chamber of sorts, almost like the inside of a submarine. Near us is a door, shut tight. Far away from us along the back wall are all sorts of controls and monitors. It seems clear that this metal door is impenetrable, at least to them. And I completely forgot to switch something on. Stop loading! I've got one light here, and one here. So you've got the darkness. This is how it usually. Ta-da! Whoa. Oh god, what have I missed? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing? I'm Richard the big camera the light. Don't blame me. Am I even recording? Wouldn't that just be horrible? Oh, why? Right. Yes. Good. We're recording. He's an older man who seems to power and authority, but he also looks tired and scared. I assume this is Barksdale. He walks over to us from the back recess of the chamber. We didn't have a choice, Amy responds. We had to. Did you override the locks on the hangar doors? Barksdale demands. Yes, I did, but we had to. And do you have any idea what you could have done? Amy didn't answer right away. She is furious, but she's also scared and visibly exhausted. Who the hell are you? Sir, who are you? I addressed my question to Amy perfectly. Whoop, hang on. Preferring to get my info from her rather than whoever this is, because he's an asshole. The man doesn't break eye contact with Amy. Connell Barksdale. He runs the place, she says, annoyed. Look, Barksdale, she says. You can berate me and lecture me all you want when this mess is over. But right now I have a wounded civilian here, and as you can see, several entities trying to get into this room. So if you could actually do something instead of sitting on your throne and yelling at me, that would be great. I'm impressed by her guts and wonder if there's some sort of beef between the two of them. They're probably father and daughter, or lovers, or ex-lovers. Maybe they were married. I say they're married. Surely working in a place like this could cause some stress and tension between the people. As we wait and I notice a small peephole in the door, I go to it, and I look out to the things. The things, oh yeah. They're still looking for a way in, but finding no success. I wonder if they could sense or somehow see me through the door. Flip them the bird. Flip them the bird, or do nothing. We'll flip them the bird, and they'll spit in their face. I can't help myself. I hold up my middle finger to one and smile defiantly. I get a blast of high-pitched sound in the response. You'll be rip by hand for speaking to me in such a way, Barksdale says to Amy. Reprimand me all you want. I'd like to survive this first. Cover your ears, Barksdale shouts, walking away towards the far end of the room. Stay put until you hear back from me. Thank you, Amy says, with fire in her voice. She then turns to me and says, better do what the man says. Why? I like asking the questions. My answer comes in the form of deafening blast. Oh dear. Dennis looks like he just wants to know when this nightmare is going to end. More bursts of a loud, explosive noise starts ringing out. Looking through the people again, I see the core of one of the beasts explode. It vanishes in a puff of smoke and clear liquid. Looking to my left, I see Barksdale in a shooting stance at the far side of the room. He's firing through a small slit in the wall. He's using some high-powered weapon, the likes of which I've never seen. I see a slight movement as the gun kicks, accompanied by a flicker of white light. Immediately, another monster is downed, its tentacles flailing around aimlessly as most of its cores turn through. I instantly feel gratitude and immense satisfaction knowing that they are being picked off in such a way. Sit down and rest. Me as well. I should recover. Oh, I need recovery. I don't know why I need recovery, but I need recovery. I slide down against the door and simply wait, listening to the occasional patter of what I assume is their blood on the wall. I don't know how much time passes. Maybe 5 seconds, maybe 5 minutes. I know that feeling every morning. And I don't care. It feels nice to lay down. When the firing is over, I barely even notice it. Soon after, Barksdale walks back over to our side of the room. They're all gone, he says, and I reseal the hangar doors. How'd you kill them like that? Classified weapons that, quite frankly, you have no business being near. Dude, what the fuck? Amy gets to her feet and returns to the panel on the wall. Thanks. How badly are the civilians hurt? Barksdale asks. One is in a very bad shape. Like this. Little bit of extremely long hair of mine. Where was I? Oh no, I've lost my spot. The other's not too bad. I see a laceration in his back, and that's about it. Okay, I'll have Strickland get a medkit. Strickland survived? Amy asked, sounding cheerful. Yes, and until you and your friends show up. I thought we were the only ones. Only ones? Hang tight. She's on her way. Ooh, she. With that said, he retreats away to the back of the room, and I'm still yawning, as if he can't stand to be around us. Amy approaches me and looks me over. You're in good hands. Strickland will be able to fix you up. Is she a doctor or something? Sort of. She's also a physicist, a corporate expert. But oddly enough, she spent time as a trauma nurse in the army. Is Strickland a friend of yours, I ask? Yeah, we've known each other for a while. The only woman in a sea of overachieving men. Bark still sounds like a prick. You must be glad Strickland survived. We all need a healer, yeah? I am. We usually have lunch together. Stop yawning! She says, and she's helped me out of a few tight spots in my career. Within a few seconds, the door behind us opens, and a woman appears from back further in the chamber. She enters the room with what looks like a small suitcase. She's dressed in a very basic and drab military getup, complete with a holstered sidearm. My name is Connie Strickland, she says. I can patch you guys up pretty well, but it's going to hurt. She looks closely at Dennis, looking him over with precise care and attention. You're not in the best shape. No kidding! Oh my god, stop yawning! He responds in a grunt. Seriously, I can fix you up, but only temporarily. You need intensive care for that arm. First things first, though. Strickland pours a liquid over his maimed arm and starts stitching. She then wraps his arm with 3 entire pools of gauze. Blood shows through right away, no kidding. That's the best I can do for now, she tells him, giving him a sympathetic rep. I could care less, Dennis smiles. I'm a cripple. Do whatever you want. As long as it matters. Oh. Strickland then looks to me. Sit down and let's see if we can get your shirt off, she says. I sit down slowly and start unputting my shirt. She has to help me slip it off my shoulders, but we manage. How bad is it? I ask. Bad, she answers. It's almost like a burn, but I've seen much worse. Your friend here, for example. Might as well talk to Strickland, if only to distract from the pain. What's your story? You're a scientist too. Let's go to the story. Like, this whole point of this thing is a story. Strickland rolls her eyes as she gathers up a needle and some thread. I was always into fringe science. Fringe science? What's fringe science? I started in labs where these eccentric Russian scientists were being funded by the US to work combining DNA types. I suddenly became obsessed with yawning. The perfecting human psychology while I was a trauma nurse in the army. Is that psychology? I think it's psychology. You were a mad scientist then, I say. I get that a lot, but no. Not compared to the stuff we do here. What kind of stuff? But I do want to know. We want to know. It's complicated. Wolmar masses, quantum gravity, crunching things down into their... Oh my god. Schwarzschild radiuses, fun stuff. Yay. I feel so... Yeah. A mad scientist, I say, trying to get myself calm with dry humour. There are lots of small labs working on the same stuff, she argues. They just don't have our funding. We have millions, that's why we're in the middle of nowhere underground. What? When you guys... oh god. When you guys ran in here, she says, I was horrified. Those barrels outside. I'm not sure if you saw them. Well, if you'd shot them, it could have been bad. Why? The grey ones are filled with an experimental fluid that is highly flammable. The yellow ones contain liquid nitrogen. What? Just laying around. Well, this area is the safest in the building, the most secure. Well, it used to be, anyway. And take this, she says, handing me 4 pills. Painkillers. They won't work immediately, but they'll dull the worst of what you're feeling. Are these the best idea? Want them to be dizzy or out of sorts or something? All I get in response is an annoyed and determined look. Should I take the painkillers, or should... Because, like... Will they really do what she says? Because I won't... What if I end up not being so responsive later on? I'll get attacked, because they'll really... I don't think the main character can die. Can the main character die? I don't know. Screw it. Let's just take the painkillers. Probably a really bad decision. I dry swallow the pills as she starts working on me. Ooh, she's working on me now. She slappers the wound with some sort of liquid. Oh, it stings like crazy and I gasp. Ouch! grin embedded. You're ready to stab me yet? She asks. I'm fine, I hiss. I wince as she dabs at my eye, swallow before Marcus kicked me. I grip my teeth in pain and try to catch my breath, like I'm doing right now. Dennis comes out of his haziness and tries speaking to Strickland, but his words are slurred. White light from the ground, Dennis says. You think they caused the power outage? Think that brought the monster out? Could be, but your crew was far enough away from this facility, or at least we thought you were. Nope, wrong. You thought wrong. So you and Barksdale are the only survivors? Dennis, you just sounded more and more suspicious, isn't he? Really? It seems that way. Those that didn't disappear into thin air were killed by those things, Strickland says, nodding to the secured door. How many were killed? No one else made it? What if somebody else ran away and made it? Like the other guy, I've completely forgotten his name. Is it Marcus? Not that I've seen. If anyone else did make it, they're trapped out there with those things. I'm glad to see you. Where were you when it happened? Amy asks. I was in a microlab on level 2. Park and O'Brien were in there with me, and they just disappeared. It looked like they were being stretched and distorted, and then there was a ball of white light, and they were gone. The ball of light just annihilated everything it touched. Would it leave a perfectly round hole? I ask, a light bulb turning on in my head. We saw some of those up at the logging site too. Yeah, and I saw a ball of white light too. That was probably the same phenomenon. Amy looks at the ground like a child that is afraid to ask an adult for something. Finally, she asks, where did they go? We don't know. It could be an infinite number of different dimensions, or even some dimensions that merge and mix together. It could also be a place that exists between dimensions. Barstow calls it the void. I'd call it dead. How's that possible? I'd call it dead. It sounds dead to me. No. We keep tabs on the heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing of all the rats and human test subjects. Wherever they go for that time, they are still very much alive. I wince through the rest of Strickland's stitching, feeling a tug on my skin, but thankfully no more flowing blood. Finally, Strickland says, You're good to go. She looks over Dennis one more time. She doesn't so much as stir when she rechecks her work. I know what I'm doing. She's already having to remove the god's gaze on his wrist, as it is soaked through with blood. The wound looks like it's starting to clot, so that's good at least. I stare at the floor as Strickland does what she can. Will you make it? I'm not a doctor. Well, not really. I'm just really tired, doctor. But based on the bit I do know, I'd say it's about 50-50 right now. Beg your pardon? So, have you and Barksdale been able to contain all those creatures? Clearly not the reaction Amy was expecting. Contain? Are you nuts? Do you not know what's happening? Amy's eyes widen in fearful confusion. What do you mean what's happening? Other than the initial experiment failure? The anomalies are becoming more numerous, and further from the source. The casual humor in her voice is now gone. What anomalies? What's the source? From the location of the original experiment, she says. The experiment caused the doorway to open. Lots and lots of urine came through. It was very infectious. It was a horrible anomaly. But it set off a chain reaction. They are gaining momentum along geodesics emanating from the facility. I don't do words too well. It's these buckets of exotic matter. Nah, I'm gonna stop that. And negative energy that are letting those things in. What the hell does that mean? It means, Eamon chimes in, that those doorways and monsters are starting to appear all over this facility. Maybe even the surface. Not yet, luckily, Strickland says, but the doorways will start appearing on the surface, and it won't stop there. The anomalies reach could extend infinitely as far as we know. Those entities will appear on the surface, and other states, other countries. Holy moly of... I say. You mean the world is going to be... What? What now? Oh, overrun. The horror of the past few hours has made me ready to believe anything, but this is also almost too much. Unfortunately, yes. My God! Stepping away. Is there anything we can do? There is a last resort. Their eyes darting over to Barksdale at the back of the door. There's an emergency fail-safe switch. What? I never heard of that. Where? You weren't cleared for it. I don't care. And that switch, Amy says, is a way to stop this? Yes, Strickland says, seeming uneasy at the conversation. Oh, I have a cold. What does the switch do? Why haven't you hit the switch already? Yeah, why haven't you done it already? Or is the switch in with everything else? Well, there's two problems with hitting it. The switch is our eraser. It destroys the entire facility, then terminates any systems or experiments that are being conducted. It's also an emergency shutdown for interdimensional travel. It puts an event horizon around the facility. What the hell is that? I ask, incredulous. It's the perimeter of a black hole, the boundary inside which nothing can escape, not even light. So the first problem is, we don't be killed, sucked into a black hole before we'd have time to evacuate. The second reason, he whispers, suddenly quiet, is that Barksdale won't allow it. What? Why not? He wants to allow those things to flood the surface. Thousands, millions will die. Strickland puts her hand up, silencing Amy. They both peer over to the far side of the room where Barksdale has his back turned. I know. He says he doesn't care. He says he'll be happy to be rid of the oversight, so he can continue his work. The oversight? Amy almost screams, regaining control over her voice, which Strickland gives her another look of warning. You mean our government? Our government doesn't care? He's aware this could disrupt, even topple our government, and he doesn't care? Strickland sighs. Barksdale is, well, he's off the range right now. He's gone rogue, and he's armed and dangerous. With a spoon. This comment makes me look towards the hangout, as I had brought him with me. I'd nearly forgotten it in the last few moments. While Barksdale has his back turned, I take it in my hands and slide it behind me. Just in time, too. As Barksdale walks over from the back of my room to the slide of the chamber, it's sticking to me. He gives Strickland a suspicious look before speaking to her. It's still sticking to me. Are the two... stop it. Are the two civilians going to survive, he asks. Dennis chuckles at this, and I'm relieved to see that his eyes are open. He gives a lazy thumbs up. Time is stitched up. One is stitched up and good to go, but the other one here is in bad shape. He needs immediate medical attention. So do I. Oh, understood. Amy, it's quite nice to see that you have survived. Were there any others? The aloft way this is talking to us is getting under my skin. A guy named Marcus that works on the first level from IT. That's all I know for sure, damn it. Marcus Papscott. Or Papscott? Papscott? Where is he now? We're not sure. I say he was separated from us. Oh, clearly taken aback from my stern reply. That's unfortunate. Barksdale seems to think about something and then looks directly at me. You're with the logging crew, aren't you? Remind me, how did you get in here again? We're searching for a crew through a building on the surface. We just walked in. We literally just walked in through the front door. What more can you say about that? Come on. Yeah. Look at the very first episode. Just walk straight in. Ah, makes sense. The cloaks for the entrance shed are tied to a primary source, and we lost primary power just before the experiment failed. Cloak? I ask. Yes. The shed you entered is visually not visible to the naked eye. Depending on the power sources that were damaged, it could also have shut down the locking systems before backups kicked in. Everything is starting to make sense now. Sure. From the very start, it seemed peculiar that we'd be so easily be able to walk into a place like this. Where is the rest of our crew? What causes them? Where's our crew? Like, this is the fundamental question. This is why we're here. Where is everyone? Your crew? Frank and Joe? They're gone. What? Gone? Where? Dennis asked, his voice trembling. They were annihilated by antimatter pockets created during the failure. A bright ball of light. In the aftermath, all you'd see would be a round hole in the ground. Barksdale says this like he's sharing yesterday's sports scores. I let my face crumble into my hands. I had suspected this. All this time, and they were already dead. Behind me, Dennis lets out a beginning of a sob. Damn it, he mutters over and over. I don't give a shit what caused it to fail. Now, it's time to continue our work, Barksdale says calmly, turning away to the instruments on the near wall. You're insane? Now it's time to continue our work. What? Probably shouldn't have said that, but I am anyway, I'm gonna say it. You want to keep your little toys to yourself, I say, my teeth clenched, and you're willing to unleash those monsters on the world to do it? Indeed. I want to continue my work. Other researchers will eventually discover what we have, sure. But I want it to be me. This is my laboratory. These are my experiments. The work I've led here will earn me my place in history. Now you'd be dead, Frank. And quite frankly, I don't need to explain it to you. Yes, you do. Up on the surface, they'll struggle to defend themselves, since they won't know what they're dealing with. I have the necessary weapons. After a few months, who knows, maybe I'll decide the world is ready for me to help them, and we'll go from there. Strickland steps up directly beside me and whispers into my ear. I wouldn't push him, she says. He's usually very logical, but this whole thing has pushed him somewhere else. He's, well, off. He turns his back to us as he says this, walking to the far side of the chamber like we're some kind of distraction. Amy takes this opportunity to whisper to us. We need to hit that switch, he says. It's the only option. What he's saying is murder, treason, genocide. She looks over to Strickland for support, trailing off. But Strickland looks at the ground, clearly torn. She will look anyone in the eye and makes an effort not to look at Barksdale. He seems distracted with whatever instruments he's studying on the far side of the room. The dreamlike quality I experienced earlier is wearing off, but the painkillers seem to be losing their edge. That was quick. Strickland finally whispers a response. Even if we decide that we want to hit that switch, Barksdale won't allow us. To hell with him! To hell with the man! Amy agrees. Where is the switch located? There's an elevator out in the hangar. Strickland says, take it to the basement. The switch is the end of a long tunnel. But Strickland never finishes. Two things happen at once as she speaks, her mouth stopping in mid-sentence. First, a loud booming noise rings out, and then the top of her head seems to explode. Amy screams out in surprise, and Dennis and I jump in shock as Strickland's body collapses beside me. Behind her fallen body, Barksdale is holding the experimental rifle, and now he's pointing it at us. What the hell? I wonder if Barksdale is even crazier than Marcus. He just shot a woman that worked for him to keep her quiet? Surely he won't have an issue with killing me. Now! Barksdale yells. No more whispering. No secrets. You three will stay in here. And get away from that door. If anyone whispers one more thing, I'll blow your heads off. My mind is racing to figure out a way to get through the secured door and into the hangar. Beyond that, of course, there was the fail-safe switch. Do I insult him or make a distraction? I don't... Click, click, click. Where am I going? Make a distraction. I try my best to be a good actor as I wobble on my feet a bit. I wobble. I stop. Start forward again, and then wobble some more. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Amy is apparently catching on because she's at my side in a second. She looks over to Barksdale and says, he's lost a lot of blood. Let me check his wound really quick. After you dare talk to me like that? He's been through a lot. She argues. He's clearly delusional. Dennis seems to not quite know what's going on, but luckily Barksdale isn't paying attention to him. You can check him back here, he says. You have 30 seconds to get away from that door, or I will. I stretch out my acting skills and actually stumble to a knee. I make a show of trying to get to my feet and stand still for a moment. I'm okay. As quickly as I can, I raise my gun and fire. I don't even take aim, I just fire in Barksdale's general direction. Barksdale takes off running, as my shot misses wide. He runs for cover to the back of the room. That's all we need. Amy also fires a shot to keep him under cover as we head for the door. Amy pushes a button, and the door swings open. Barksdale will be on us any second, so we dash out into the hangar, ready to defend ourselves. I think Barksdale and Marcus have been here a little bit too long. Oh no, barrels. Are we still near where the explodable barrels are? All three of us run as fast as we can through the rows of barrels. Right away though, Barksdale's gunfire separates us. I hear a shot hit nearby as I dive down, and I realise that neither Dennis nor Amy is with me. I hear Amy cry out from elsewhere in the barrels. Peering around the barrel closest to me, I can see Dennis. He's crawling slowly on the floor 2 rows away from me. Seeing him move so slowly, I can't imagine how he's finding the strength to do even that. "Stop this nonsense!" Barksdale yells at us. "I've got a good mind to shoot the fuel and kill all of you." It's then that I realise that not getting away from these barrels may be our death sentence. Tell him to get away or run away. Oh crap. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Before I can do anything, a shot comes from the isolation chamber. It's immediately followed by a pinging sound and a massive wall of heat. I feel the heat before I feel the force of the explosion. It occurs several rows ahead of me, and I can still feel the physical push of it. I hear Dennis scream, and then the clanging of metal. That's when another barrel explodes, and then another. I realise that I could run back and help, or try to get myself clear. I might not have enough time to do either before the next round of eruptions. What the hell should I do? Run back to help Dennis and Amy? Run away in the other direction? This always seems to be working. Decide to run into flames to help. My instinct to help overcomes my instinct to survive. If I don't help them now, the exploding barrels will leave Dennis and Amy as good as dead. I turn and start heading out their way, but I'm not quick enough. I've got no oxygen. My face and eyes scream with the unimaginable pain of burns as I am lifted from the ground and tossed forward by the explosion. Whew. I slowly muscle myself up off the ground and try to regain my footing. My entire body feels sore, begging me to just stop. Is this thing even looking at me? When I look back for Dennis and Amy, the scene is not promising. Neither of them seems to be able to move on their own. Dennis is flying flat on his face, unmoving. Amy is about 20 feet away from him. She's wailing in pain and clutching her leg. Behind them, I can see Barksdale looking for our shot through the fire and evaporated liquid nitrogen. I fire off a single shot just to get him to duck back down. I look back out to Dennis and Amy and see the fire nearing the fuel barrels. I can maybe keep Barksdale pinned down long enough to pick them up one by one and help them walk to the elevators. But more barrels could blow at any moment. I might only have time to save one of them. Oh no. Well, Dennis is in like really bad shape. Oh crap. I hate when it does that. That lets you know that you made a big decision. I take a deep breath and sprint back out into the open among the fire and the heat. Right away I start taking blind shots at Barksdale, who fires back only once, and the shot goes off into the growing flames around me. I take one more shot and then reach down for Dennis. He's basically dead weight at this point. He's almost too heavy for me, but I manage to get him to his feet. He's almost too heavy for me, and my wooden shoulder screams in pain as I get him to his feet. I drag him back, narrowly avoiding the fire and death. I try shooting at Barksdale, but trying to aim the gun while carrying Dennis proves to be too much. Barksdale gets a single shot off as we round the corner to where the elevator waits. I set Dennis down, and he's still unresponsive. Drenched in sweat, I wheel around and head back out to get Amy. I only make it a single step before I see her. I open my mouth to call to her, but an explosion right beside her cuts me off. She is shoved hard to the left from the force of the explosion. I run to help, but Barksdale is firing again at me. I give Amy one last regretful look, and then rush back to the elevator and Dennis. What? My nerves are drenched in fear and adrenaline. When I reach out to pass the call button in the elevator, it feels like I'm watching someone else do it. As Dennis and I step inside, the motors in the elevator squeal like dying dogs. It's an old service elevator, made of wood and metal, like something from a coal mine. As the elevator slides down, the light from the flames give way to complete darkness, and now it's just me and Dennis once again. Aw, man. Well, given it, Dennis was gone for quite a lot. He's beaten, he's got holes all over him, he's not in that great position. And Amy, mind you, we don't actually know the extent of Amy's injuries, but it would seem that Amy's got a better chance of surviving getting away than Dennis would. Especially if it was him that was running against the wall from the explosion. I could have just opened up all his wounds and he could have just bled to death and would have lost Dennis. But Dennis is... I find Dennis very I don't know the word. It's just suspicious. It occasionally makes him out to be as though Dennis has an ulterior motive. Like he became a part of the original crew, but the purpose was actually to go to this place. Maybe it's like a spy. You know, he's going in there to steal everything they've done. But I'm gonna have to end this episode here. So this will be, oh god, I don't know what to call this, but it's halfway of the episode. Thank you for watching though. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button below, comment, tell me what you think, anything I could improve, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode of Buried, part 6. Yeah, anyway, bye bye.